If you've been following this AI Scalping Series, you know the drill. We've already tested ChatGPT, Google Gemini, DeepSeek, and even the wild Grok AI. Some did pretty well, well, let's just say they roasted my account. Today we're bringing in a new challenger, Claude AI. I asked it to build a forex scalping strategy from scratch, and we're going to trade it exactly as it says. No tweaks, no filters, no cherry picking. Just pure Claude logic. Starting with a clean $100 account, we'll see if this AI genius can outperform the others, or if my balance ends up looking like a meme. If you love these raw experiments, make sure to drop a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next AI challenge. Alright, let's dive in and see what Claude thinks it can do on the charts. Before we jump into the trades, let me show you exactly how I got Claude's strategy. Just like before, I typed in the exact same prompt asking Claude AI to build a forex scalping strategy for GBPUSD on the 5-minute chart. And here's exactly what it told me. Claude kept it simple. We're using 3 indicators: the 9 EMA and 21 EMA to see the trend, the RSI 14 to confirm momentum, and the MACD to help filter out the fake signals. For a buy setup, you're looking for the 9 EMA to cross above the 21 EMA, and that's our bullish trend. The RSI needs to be above 50 but not over 70, and the MACD should be positive, or the MACD line crosses above the signal line. Once all that lines up, you enter at the close of the confirmation candle, set your stop loss at 15 pips, and take profit at 30 pips. For a sell setup, it's the opposite. Position sizing is aggressive, 10% of the account per trade. Now the big question, can Claude actually outperform ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, or even Grok? Let's load up the chart and jump into the first trade to find out. Alright guys, let's jump into the very first setup using Claude's strategy. And honestly, it looked pretty clean. All the conditions lined up exactly the way Claude wanted. The 9 EMA crossed above the 21 EMA, RSI was comfortably sitting above 50, and MACD flipped positive. So yeah, textbook Claude AI buy signal. I entered a buy at 1.33302, slapped the stop loss 15 pips below at 1.33152, and set the take profit 30 pips up at 1.33602. Classic 1 to 2 setup, nothing fancy. Lot size followed the 10% risk rule, and the account started at a clean $100. Now, here's the funny part. This is supposed to be a scalping strategy, right? Scalping, quick in, quick out. But this trade, man, I ended up holding it for 19 hours. 19. At this point, it felt less like scalping and more like swing trading's little cousin. But maybe that's just because it was a Monday. The market was moving like it had just woken up and hadn't had coffee yet. But hey, slow or not, the trade eventually pushed all the way to take profit. First win of the Claude challenge, and the balance jumps up to $121. Not a bad start at all. Let's see if Claude can keep this momentum going in trade number 2. Alright, moving on to trade 2, and hopefully this one will behave like an actual scalping setup. None of that 19-hour hostage situation like the first trade. So, according to Claude's rules, everything lined up for a sell this time. The 9 EMA crossed below the 21 EMA, RSI dropped under 50, and MACD flipped negative. Clean bearish momentum across the board. So I didn't overthink it, I jumped in with a sell at 1.33571, stop loss 15 pips, and take profit sitting down at 1.33271. And unlike the first trade, this one actually moved. It didn't crawl, it didn't sleep, it didn't go on holiday, it dropped nicely and hit take profit in just about an hour. No drama, no waiting the whole day, just clean momentum straight into TP. That puts the account up to $145 after only 2 trades. And honestly, compared to the other AI strategies we tested, ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, even Grok, Claude is off to a way stronger start. ChatGPT grew the account, but it wasn't this quick. DeepSeek was decent but choppy. Gemini struggled. Grok, yeah, let's not talk about Grok. But Claude, 2 trades, both winners, and the balance is already plus 45%. Not a bad opening performance at all. Let's see if Claude can actually keep this streak going, or if the market is about to humble it in trade number 3. Alright, trade 3. Setup was clean again. 9 EMA above 21 EMA, RSI above 50, MACD flipping bullish. All the boxes ticked. So I followed the rules exactly and went in for a buy at 1.33251, stop loss 15 pips down at 1.33101, and take profit up at 1.33551. Lot size 0.10. Yeah, I know it's big for this account size, but this whole experiment is meant to be a little crazy. And yeah, this one just didn't want to move. Price pushed around a little, faked some strength, then just rolled over and clipped the stop loss like it never had any intention of going up in the first place. So that's our first L of the Claude test, dropping the balance down to $130. Honestly, not the end of the world. Every strategy gets punched in the face eventually, but after 2 clean wins, this one definitely slowed down the hype a bit. Still, we're up overall, and compared to how Grok performed in its 3rd trade, Claude is still looking like a genius. Let's load up the next setup and see if it can bounce back, or if this is the start of a losing streak. Alright, trade 4, and the setup was again a textbook signal for a buy, 9 EMA above the 21 EMA, RSI comfortably above 50, MACD showing bullish momentum. So the same routine. I followed the rules without tweaking anything. I entered a buy at 1.32829, stop loss 15 pips below, and take profit 30 pips above. And yeah, this one lost too. Another clean stop out. Balance drops to $116.50, which means 2 back-to-back losses now. And I'll be real with you, both of these losing trades had one thing in common. The market was in a downtrend, but Claude's setup kept telling me to buy. So obviously it got slapped around, but again, this is the whole point of the experiment. We're not changing the rules, we're not adding filters, we're not becoming smart humans. If Claude says buy, we buy. If Claude says jump, we ask, how many pips? So yeah, the hype train is slowing down a bit. 2 wins, 2 losses, and we're drifting back toward the classic AI pattern. Strong start, then reality check. Let's see if trade 5 can turn things around, or if Claude is about to follow Grok's footsteps into the red zone. Alright, for trade 5, we got another clean sell setup. The 9 EMA crossed below the 21 EMA, RSI dipped under 50, and MACD flipped negative. Everything lined up perfectly with the trend this time. So I followed the rules exactly and entered a sell at 1.32743, stop loss 15 pips above at 1.32893, and take profit down at 1.32443. Lot size was 0.08 on this one. And honestly, this was such a relief. The price dropped and hit our TP. After the last 2 losses, this felt really good to see. That pushes the account back up to $140.50. A solid recovery. So far, Claude is showing a pretty clear pattern. It works great when it follows the trend, but it struggles when trying to catch the reversal. Still, compared to some of the other AIs we've tested, this is a much better bounce back. Let's jump into the next and final setup and see if Claude can keep climbing or if we're about to hit another rough patch. Alright, final trade of the Claude AI test, and honestly I was hoping this one would end the run on a high note. We had another buy setup, all the conditions were met. So I followed the plan exactly the same way as the previous trades. I entered a buy at 1.32205, stop loss 15 pips below at 1.32055, and take profit up 30 pips. Lot size was bumped up to 0.09. And once again, the market was trending down, and Claude told me to buy. So we all know what happened next. Price slid lower, tagged the stop loss clean, and the balance dropped to $127. So yeah, that's another losing trade, and just like the previous ones, every loss we took came from buying into a downtrend. But remember, this whole experiment is about following the AI exactly as it gives the rules. No tweaks, no human intervention, no fixing the logic. If Claude says buy, we buy. That's the deal. With that, I'm going to stop the test here. Let's take a look at where Claude actually sits compared to the other AIs I've tested in this series. I've been keeping track of all the results from every challenge, so here's the full leaderboard with the total profit or loss for each one. Starting at the top, we've got ChatGPT, which is still holding the #1 spot. It ended its run with a total profit of $85. And honestly, that's the most consistent performance I've seen so far. It wasn't perfect, but at least it didn't try to blow the account on a Tuesday morning. Right behind it is DeepSeek, finishing with a total profit of $63. This one did really well whenever the trend was clean, and the strategy made sense. The only reason it's not number one is because ChatGPT handled the messy areas a bit better. Now in the middle of the pack, we've got Claude, which after today's test ends with a profit of $27. Not bad at all, considering we didn't modify the system, didn't filter the trades, and didn't stop it from buying straight into a downtrend. With a few smart tweaks, I actually think Claude could climb higher on this list. After that, we have Gemini, which finished its test almost flat, ending with a small loss of -$8. It was way too cautious, and most of the setups were just late or didn't trigger at all. Safe, but not very profitable. And at the bottom, no surprise here, Grok, closing with a total loss of -$42. Super fun to talk to, absolutely terrible at trading, not much else to say there. So yeah, based on everything so far, Claude slots into third place, a positive result overall, but definitely room for improvement. And if you're enjoying this series, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode of this series. As always, trade smart, stay safe.